we're going to do the Golden Thumb presentation first. I'd like to call out the director, David Fortune. You know what, let's come over closer to the chairs. And the producer, Kaya Klingman. The actor who played Mason's dad, William Catlett. Wait just 1 minute.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you let Mason have his balloon? No, here, thank you so much. And Jeremiah Daniels. Hey! Jeremiah, I have one, before we do our Q&As, I have one thing. Was it fun to act in the movie?
Yes.
You enjoyed it?
Yes, yeah, I am enjoying it. It's my favorite part, because I've been made to like any waffles.
Oh, waffle. Your favorite part was eating waffles. Okay. We're going to take these thumbs back, but we're going to have you have a seat. We'll help. Will someone come and help us take the thumbs back so they can sit? And let's say we're going to put, you tell us where you want. And now we'd also like to call out Jeremiah's, I'm sorry, calling your Masons, yeah, parents, Terrence and Joy Daniels.
The moderators sit.
I'm going to try to put him, I'm going to, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put Eric here.
Yep.
Is the moderator. So
Yep.
you,
Yep. Where would you like it? No, I'll park myself right here.
okay.
I can see people on either side. Yeah, yeah, man, that's great. Thank you.
Sonia, why don't you sit on the side?
My God. All right. All right.
I have your microphone. How many, do we have more microphones? Okay, we'll pass them around. I'm going, Dr. Eric Pearson. Oh, wait, we didn't introduce, where's Annie? Annie, come out. Help us, thank you. She's helping us sponsor the film. Okay, I'm going to leave this time, but I am going to leave you with a couple of questions that I'd like to have answered. One, I'd like to know how much time did Jeremiah and William have to get to know each other? I'd like to know the parents, how did it feel to let your son go and spread his wings to do this acting? I'd like to know from you how you decide. Oh, you know what? I'm going to leave it all up to Dr. Pearson. Here, who else? We have that. Okay, thank you.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, as always, there is a lot of energy and love in this room right now, and I want to thank you all for spending some your time this afternoon with us.
Thank you.
I want to thank the Alliance for Inclusion and Respect for sponsoring the film and bringing all of us together to have this conversation. So I want to thank the organization for that as well. And we're gonna get to Chaz's questions as well. But I'd just like to figure out or get you to talk about how the genesis of this project and sort of from a producer perspective, from a writer director, and then as the actors became involved, sort of how the whole thing sort of took shape. So you could speak to that, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I think the genesis of this project actually stemmed when I was in film school. I went to Loyola Marymount University. And shout out to LMU. And my professor, he had this assignment where you have to take a still photograph and turn it into a story. And one of the images that always stuck in my mind was an image of a black father and a son. And for me, going into just wanting to make see a film about a black father and son on a journey. And it could have been anywhere, to Six Flags, to the swimming pool, to the neighborhood park. I just wanted to see a connection between two human beings in a feature film. And I'm a big proponent of the idea that if there's a story that you want to see, you gotta be the person to go ahead and make it. And I took 3 months, actually I did a short film called Us, which is about a black father trying to teach his son with Down syndrome how to play baseball. And after I made that short film, I was like, I want to dive in deeper. I want to know how they wake up, how they go to sleep, what are their day-to-day rituals? Do they pray? Do they brush their teeth together? I just want an image of those connections between a black man and a young black boy. And that kind of led into me writing Color Book. And after I wrote Color Book, I reached out to my producer, Kai Klingman, to see, hey, if there's a way you can help me produce this film. And at that point, we just got into the AT&T Untold Stories program to pitch the film for $1 million. And I could say Kai Klingman took over from there.
I don't know if I completely took over. And I do want to shout out our other two producers who are not with us today, Kristen Uno and Autumn Bailey Ford. They send their love as well. But yeah, we got right to work. Without telling you the entire story, we were a part of the AT&T Untold Stories program, and we actually flew to New York to pitch this film, to pitch David's vision. And I was immediately drawn to this story outside of David's professionalism and even the lookbook that he sent me that had Will's picture on it from the very beginning. And this is, months and months before we even started thinking about casting. But I was specifically drawn to the caregiving aspect of the story. I'm a secondary caregiver to my father who has ALS, and I was just completely impressed with his vision, and I was like, how can I be involved? We didn't have any money yet, but I was like, I want to make sure that I can be a part of this project. This is an important story to tell. So we went on this long road together, and we rehearsed for a month. We created a 10-minute pitch video that actually was in the vein of what you saw today, and we got on a stage in front of 200 people and 5 judges, and we gave our heart and soul into that pitch, I can tell you that. And about an hour and a half later, we found out that we were the 2023 winners of the $1 million grant to make Color Book.
Woo!
And after a short break, we got to party that night, but we got a call from our supervising producer, literally like at 11 p.m. that night, and said, "Hey, we have our first production meeting tomorrow morning." And we got right to work June 2023, and we had a year to deliver what you saw today. And during that year, we went through many challenges and obstacles, just like Lucky and Mason did. We hit the writers and the actors strike, and so we were not able to work for months, but we still had that hard deadline of delivering the film by May 2024. And that's exactly what we did. And with the help of our incredible, mostly Atlanta-based crew and our cast, the people that are here on this stage, we were able to do it, and what y'all got to see today, that was the product of a lot of hard work. So I'm just thankful to be a part.
Now, you said Will's picture was on the cover of the pitch, so when did you become involved with the project?
This project was chasing me down at church, at the grocery store. I was just telling a story the other night because we just flew in from Atlanta. A buddy of mine was taping for Color Book, and I'm his reader. And he's killing it too. And I'm like, man, whoever gets this part is gonna be a movie star. I'm not thinking that I'm gonna be the one that gets the part. And I meet with David, we do a Zoom, and it's just an immediate connection. And, you know, you're talking back and forth to each other, and I'm just like, I know that I'm supposed to do this. And brother, I wanna help you get this thing to the finish line. So that's how I came a part of the project.
And what about your connection with Jeremiah, which was so strong on in the film? It just felt so natural. Did you do anything offset to kind of strengthen that bond and build the relationship offset so that we got what we got on the scene on film?
Well, the truth is, there was another young man that was supposed to play Jeremiah's part. A very, very talented young man too, who also has Down syndrome. And Jeremiah comes in at the last minute, and just like he walked on stage, he walked into the chemistry read. And I looked at him, and immediately I knew, that's my son. And, you know, David and myself had a 2-hour conversation because he had already gave the part to the other young man. So he had to make a tough decision on who he was going to go with. And I said to him, I said, you know, you're the director, you make the choice, but that young man is my son. But I'm down with you either way you want to go. And to this day, I'll be at Jeremiah's 18th birthday, graduation, whatever he has going on. That's the connection. Like when I see him, it's just a ball of joy. And I hadn't seen them in a long time, so when we were in Atlanta, it's the first time I saw him and his mom and dad. And he just lit my soul on fire. I love that kid. I love you, man. Yeah.
And Jeremiah, what do you feel about the director and Will and Kaya? How do you feel about this family that you've?
Well, I really love Color Book, and my producer, Kaya, and David and Will, and I love Will because he's a great actor of Lucky. Like, apparently, like Mason, that's by like a father have a son have a Down system, like a mom passed, and then as my mom, the other producers, then my auntie who's a producer. No,
Sounds like you had a good time.
So it's great. It's a great acting. I like great acting, like have a father, have a son, and I would like playing like Mason and Lucky together. And then you can't do it, we can do it together. Yeah. And we got this. And we're great from our director, David. And I'm excited to David, and I was so proud of him. And you're a great director for everybody else. I mean, you're a shout out for you, David. Thank you, man.
David,
I love you too, man. I love you too, man.
David.
Our movie will start and you're not.
That's the running joke that Jeremiah and I would have on set, that he's the movie star and I'm not. So we would say this all the time.
David, why the choice to have it in black and white?
You know, with black and white, it wasn't the approach wasn't based off style, it was more so based off story. I knew I wanted to tell this intimate experience of a father and son journey. And I didn't want to be distracted by anything else. I just wanted to quiet the audience focus on this love letter between a man and his son. And with black and white, it eliminates any distractions. And the only thing you can focus on is the thing that's between these two characters. And so when I put it in color, or I put the filter in color in my mind, I just saw the whole world. But when I put the filter of black and white, I just saw these two people, these two intimate souls. And it just felt like the natural artistic choice to make at that time.
That's great. You know what else I loved about it was the pacing. Usually I'm one who likes stuff to go faster,
Yeah.
so it really forces me to sit in this. But I noticed even when Will was praying, it was like just a slow, he took time between the, thanking for this, thankful for this, and, the words he said, it wasn't like a quick prayer. He just really took space and time between the prayer, and it just fit the whole film to me. I loved it again. My second time seeing it, and I was telling Will that I saw even more things in it that made me appreciate it even more this time around, so thank you.
Oh no, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, I was really moved by the sort of movement of through grief, because for me the film is, Lucky's lost his wife, and he's got this responsibility now that he's got to sort of move through. And the scene where you meet your buddy on the train and he asks, "Are you all right?" There's so much there. And can you speak a little bit about how you chose to handle the grief that was very much a part of these two characters' lives?
With grief, I wanted to pay tribute to it. I wanted to honor it. I think so much in our lives, we try to eliminate grief. We try to avoid it. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to face it. And in this film, I specifically made the choice not to bring up Tammy, or not to share too much, but to show. I wanted you to walk through grief, experience it hand in hand, but then understand the importance of joy. Joy and grief complement each other. You can't understand the importance of joy unless you feel some sort of grief. You can't understand the importance of grief unless you feel some sort of joy. And for me, those two themes had to kind of coexist in the same space, because those are experiences we constantly live in day to day. And I just wanted to make sure I honor grief and make sure that this is a lived human experience, and we should not be avoiding of it. We should accept it. And we see that through Lucky and Mason's eyes.
Yeah, it is this idea that Tammy's there, because one of the things that happens with grief, you have a ceremony where you celebrate the person's life, but then you go home, and then it's just you and your grief, and you've got to figure out a way to work through that. And I thought the performances were really, you could feel that, but it wasn't what their life was totally about, right? At the same time, so. I appreciated that. I wanted to ask Anna if you had a question, because Anna, you work in sort of disability advocacy, and how does a film like this help you do what you do?
Yeah, well, thank you. One thing I would say is just how beautifully moving the film was. And I'm not even sure if I have a question, but just more feedback that, having folks with lived experiences being cast in films like this is so monumentally huge. I think back to 20 years ago, we had I Am Sam or Rain Man, where we're having, someone assume what that experience is like. So there's that piece. But then separately, this film isn't really about the disability piece. It's about a beautiful, moving human experience, which is grief and father-son dynamics and a loving family. So I thought that was just a really nuanced, wonderful interplay.
So what's next for this film? I mean, where are you? Are we looking for a distributor, or where are we at in those conversations?
Distribution.
What he said.
Yeah. Because, and the main thing isn't, coming from a place of a financial standpoint. It's to have it released so everyone can come in one center space and enjoy this film. There's nothing like what we see here when you have a community of people coming into one location to watch a movie and have a shared experience. And that's what we want for Color Book. We're also planning a impact campaign to go along with the release of the film, because we want to make sure that the community that this film is intended for get a chance to experience the movie and partake in the spreading and the release of the movie. Because we feel like it's just not important to make this film, but to engage the community that this film was written about and written for.
Yeah, and I think as a black man, I will really appreciate that because I don't, it's, okay. The moment, and I've had it with my dad, the moment that your father says, I'm gonna take you to the ball game, and it's just the two of you, and there's this bond. It doesn't matter what has come before, but there's this, that that something, your relationship is changing in a way because you're bonding together in a different way. And I really hope that lots of black men get to see this and see that our representation as fathers needs to be celebrated.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I agree. I think we're going to open it up to questions from the audience now. Do we have someone here with mics? Does anyone in the audience have a question? You can raise your hand and they'll bring you a microphone.
Yeah, so while people are doing that, you mentioned Atlanta as a character. Atlanta is almost like a character in the film. I'm curious as to, you talk about a love letter to Atlanta. Also, did you make this whole thing for $1 million? Did you just make it for the money?
One and a little bit of change.
Really? Well, good for you.
One and a little bit of change. No, I think for myself and Kaya, we noticed that there's so many productions taking place in Atlanta, but none of the stories are about Atlanta.
Yes.
And we really took pride in making sure that not only the screenplay was set in the community that we live in and are from, but we cast Atlanta-based actors. We worked with Atlanta-based crew. We wanted to make sure that this film was Atlanta from the story through production. And that was the center focus for us.
Was that Brandy Evans? Is that from P-Valley? Am I right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Questions?
Question from the rear of the theater, please. I noticed, two things. One of the, I had never seen a film about I see so few films about African American fathers and their sons or families, so that's one thing. But to have one about, I've never seen a film about a black man with a son with Down syndrome, so that was really novel to me, and that really touched my heart. The other thing is I noticed about this film, you had characters. When you were on the subway, there was someone with a walker. I noticed someone with a cane, and was that intentional? Maybe because I knew this film was being sponsored by what the organization that was once called the Anti-Stigma Alliance. I just wanted to know, was it important to you, I don't know if that was you, Kaya, or David, who felt that you should show people in the background who also had a disability?
Kaya, you want to take that on?
Sure, actually, and I know the few folks that you mentioned because I vividly see those scenes, and I would love to take credit for those, but a few of them we actually organically caught while we were on MARTA. So we shot on a live train. We didn't shut down MARTA at all. We were actually, with the help of MARTA and of course, their permission, but we had to kind of catch some scenes when we were able to catch them because, MARTA transports hundreds and thousands of commuters every single day. But we did have a wonderful background casting director named Jordan Blair Brown, who is based in Atlanta, who was able to provide us a variety of different background cast, and so we're really thankful for her and what she was able to bring to the project.
Next question is from the balcony in the center.
Got it.
My cousin is from Atlanta. He has Down syndrome. I grew up with him.
Wow.
So seeing this movie, I wanted to ask Jeremiah, when you got off the train, how did that feel, and how did you prepare yourself to know how to feel in that scene? Because even though you're walking away, we could feel like you were very courageous and brave to just leave the train.
Well, the train pulled up, the police tried to chase us, and then me and Lucky, we just went around the train and then talk about where's my son got lost. Yep, I'm a teenager.
So ask the question. I'm sorry. The gist of your question again?
My question was, when he got off the train, how did his body movement, even going up, was very like, I know I'm going to do this.
I think she means when he's following the vendor balloon man, yes.
I lost the balloon, so I just a little bit sad because I lost my balloon in the train because I was just running off, and then I told Lucky to do it.
So, all right, and you are talking about when he got off to go, after they left the balloon on the train, right? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just said
Yeah, yeah. I think to sum it up, it was just great direction. That's it. It's great direction, and you know, he does well with taking direction. So he was told to be sad in the moment, and so he gave you that. So
Jeremiah, do you want to continue acting?
Yes. I love acting. I almost play Mason.
And Will, what do you have coming up next?
I can't really say, but fingers crossed, something really, really huge.
Do we have another question from the audience?
I have a question. Front center. This is for the mother of the big movie star on the stage. My aunt also had a child with Down syndrome, and I watched her journey. Would you be willing to share with us a bit of what's on your heart today and what you'd like to say to us as the audience about this amazing son of yours and the journey?
Oh, wow. Every time I watch the film, my heart is just so full because when Jeremiah was first born, the first thing that was told to us was everything he wouldn't do, and to prepare ourselves for just, struggles all the time and, just things that he just wouldn't be able to do. And so my husband and I said, oh okay. And, just through our faith and through our village, and treating Jeremiah like we treated the rest of our children, no different. Maybe he needed extra help with things, but we knew he would do it. And so it's never been a question of whether he can do it, it's when he can do it and how he'll be able to do it. Yeah. And so seeing him in this film and watching him on set, I'm blown away by him. I'm in awe of him. And, we're at 13 now, so that's different. But I'm just so full, just every day. And just being his mom, I'm thankful and I'm grateful for this journey, and I would have it no other way.
Thank you, Mother. And A's do matter.
And can I just add to that real quick that there's also a term we use quite often in our community when encouraging parents to foster independence, right? And one of the terms we often remind parents of is called dignity of risk. And I think it's a beautiful thing that kind of exemplifies is seen in the film as well, that the dad had to allow a little bit of risk to happen in order to better foster that independence. And it sounds like you're saying the same thing, that as a parent, you kind of had to take a leap of faith.
100%.
Look where it turned out. We're on this stage today.
And I will say that one of the things that we tend to get in films like this is a lot of shots of people's reaction to, and there is none of that in this film, and I applaud you for it, because it's not there, and it was noticeably absent because we become conditioned to sort of see stories a certain way, and there's all people who are staring, and there's none of that. And the addition of your buddy, who also has a child with Down syndrome, that was just there was color in there that a lot of filmmakers would have missed, and I want to applaud you for keeping it in there because it was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Maybe we have time for one more question.
Question, in the balcony, center left.
Got it.
That was a very touching film, and I was just wondering, because of the name Color Book, why you decided to go with black and white. But I loved the black and white, and the lighting was beautiful. I just thought it was excellent.
Oh man, I hate to disappoint you. So long story short, I suck when it comes to choosing titles for film. And so as a method, what I do is I try to search for a physical item that's in the movie and that reflects the soul and reflects the essence of the entire story. And as I was kind of digging through the screenplay, I recognized this film isn't about the destination, it's about the journey. And what encapsulates the journey? It's this coloring book. Everything that we see in it reflects the pain, the struggles, the joy, the love that happens within their day. And for me, it was like, well, that should be the title. But then I thought about it, I'm like, the coloring book just sounds too long-winded. So I just said, all right, well, just take off the. And I was like, coloring book, still sounds a little bit too much. And I landed on color book. It's light, it has a bit of color. And even though this film's in black and white, the emotions are very vibrant. And I felt that the title was a natural complement to what the story was.
Thank you. Did we have other questions? Because I thought we said we had one more, but
In the back.
in the back. Okay, there we go.
Get a microphone to the back, please. He's coming to you.
He's coming to you. And we will give you the last question.
So this is also a question for Jeremiah. We already talked about waffles, so I understand now. But I do thank you for explaining the title to the film, because that's what I thought too, and I wanted to share that we do this art show every year. Art is a character. Your art is a character in the film. But I was wondering, did you draw those things, or did someone else draw them?
Listen. So, waffles, I said, yes, I did, by myself. And then the waffles, oh my goodness. So, waffles is great because the waffles is good because I said sprinkles, but sprinkles that I do whipped cream. And the other waffles that I play with Lucky, that's what I just do. On the table, have syrups. And then my favorite food is waffles. And I like, on my top, I like some strawberries. That doesn't make me healthy because I'll be okay because I just said I can't do it, we do it together. And we do like producers and directors always do together. It's like waffles, cakes, like yes. That's what Lucky said about it. And my dad, he said, you got this, Mason, keep going, Mason. And my art director said, Mason, stay locked in, you got this, keep going. And a real play with Lucky, he said, Mason, so don't look back. We're not looking back. We're not looking back. So we can do it, we can do it together. And thank you. And then what the other And the day we have a for a pinch for a baseball game, that would be my favorite. And then I eat pizza, there's no cheese on it. And I love it. So thank you. And I'm gonna ask you guys. And I know the waffles is my favorite. And I'm gonna ask my dad to have eat the waffles together. Like, together. So I know I miss, but Tammy is a, where I miss Brandy. And then I really miss everybody else. And then I'm gonna shout out to Kai Kremen, we're a great producer. And you're my favorite. And Terrence, I got one request to you. I know I like waffles. You're better like me. And Mom, it doesn't matter. I'm 13 years old. And you raised me so.
She did a great job. Both your parents did a wonderful job. We thank you so much. We thank all of you, Kaya,
Thank you.
David, Will. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
Good job. You know, and I saw you film it.